back a little bit about, so in Macau and in Hong Kong and Guangzhou, we have this Greater Bay Area network all connected together, okay? And they're full of nutrition, yes? Pumping this through to Europe, yes? So I guess the first question maybe we could ask, starting with Dr. Pino, is about how do you've been working here in Macau doing this trade. How do you feel, are there any difficulties in terms of getting, promoting this open innovation to and from Macau or the Greater Bay to Portugal?
Thank you very much for the question, and good evening, everyone. Even though it was a bit last minute, I'll try to to provide the most correct answer. Anyway, I'm here in Macau since 9 months ago. So I work for ICEP, the Portuguese Government Trade and Investment Agency. As our distinguished Portuguese speaker already mentioned, Professor Reis already mentioned that we do have quite an interesting group of Portuguese entities promoting innovation in a way of working in the international activity of Portuguese companies and promoting innovation abroad. And here indeed in Macau, we have been having some examples, at least in the last few months since I'm here. It was mentioned as well at Beyond. For instance, we have a couple of Portuguese startups coming as well as Brazilian. I think there is definitely room for cooperation and for bilateral cooperation, and especially nowadays when we talk about specifically promoting here an innovation ecosystem and the role of Macau in the Greater Bay Area. There are some other initiatives going on as well. There was some competition mentioned. We have here as well Professor Marco as also a very interesting competition, which also promotes the way, in this case, coming here to Macau. And I would finish by saying that definitely collaboration and initiatives like these ones are very important to gather the different stakeholders and to make the things happen. Okay.
Thank you very much, Dr. Pino. Now, the same next question that goes is actually to Mr. Derek Jim from Hong Kong Science and Technology Park. So he has been visiting USJ, well, actually his team has been visiting USJ recently to ask about the greater reach, as Hong Kong is a super connector internationally for the world. So as a science technology park, how do you see Macau and Portugal and Brazil work together in this super connecting work of yours? Thank you.
Well, I would say in the past what we were doing, like Hong Kong Science Technology Park, we first of all, we started to promote the innovation and entrepreneurship in Hong Kong. And I'm sure most of you, when you think about Honky, right, the Hong Kong people, right, we are very trading mindset, right? We used to be doing finance. You just sleep, and the other day your property price goes up, and then you don't need to do anything, right? So that's the culture in the past. So we spent a couple of years, firstly to work with universities, secondly to change the way how government promote the innovations, and then lastly we try to tap into the different expertise from the academics, from the industries, from China globally. So that's why we come to different programs. And in the past few years, we make a little bit of progress in terms of growing the startups in the early stage with universities. We also make some accomplishment in like nurturing some sort of centaurs, unicorns, by having more investors and corporates. But what we did in the past mostly like those from US, Southeast Asia, Japan, Korea, and we usually we have very little exposure, or like when it comes to Portugal, Brazil. It sounds to me like I grew up in Hong Kong. It sounds to me, wow, very far away. So, but if you look at what Professor just mentioned earlier, like even like in the Web Summit, right? It's actually a huge event. There are lots of good things going on in the Portuguese and Brazilian ecosystems. So I think going forward, I think it's very important to actually replicate the model. So we work more together on the early stage through the universities. And I think Science Park, we are actually very good at gluing, like providing the bridges. I think the governments in Hong Kong, they are really supportive to the universities. We also have a lot of PPP initiatives going on. So I see the opportunities to work together on the university side. On the more mature or like some sort of startup, they are more like take the formats already. I think we can actually help them to get into the ecosystem, the investment committees, so that they can actually get better into the mainland China market. And on the other way, like I think a lot of the startups in Hong Kong, we don't really know about the Portugal market and Brazilian market. I think this is huge, even also the African markets. So we go along to attack those markets is just being silly. So I think it's very important to actually tap into the talents and the resource and the network and expertise altogether.
Thank you very much. Now then this question then is reflected to attacking, well, I shouldn't say attacking, connecting to the Portuguese and African markets, right, and European markets. How do you feel that it is, this collaboration can happen? So this question is both to Professor Rej and Ms. San Choi. So which one would you? You first. No, yes, Rej, Professor Rej,
Okay.
sorry.
I was listening to what Derek was saying, and I was thinking that the opportunities of problem solving in Portuguese-speaking countries and through Portuguese-speaking countries are enormous in social dimensions. Urban organization in Africa or in Brazil, I mean, something similar to the experience of crowded places that we have in certain other areas of the world. Environment challenges, energy challenges. How can we create batteries that are reusable without using necessarily chemicals, right? So the building dams that storage water, desalination projects, a significant amount of innovations that are required at this point in areas, agriculture, for instance. The digital transition in agriculture is very important. So all of this constitute opportunities, a myriad of opportunities that can be, that need the brains from all the world, right? Including the Greater Bay Area, of course, right? So where we have a vibrant environment of thinking of problems, being confronted with solutions. This sharing of good practices is something that startups can do and bring and promote. So we need more cooperation indeed.
Ms. Choi?
Right. As I mentioned earlier on, our center, Macao Young Entrepreneur Incubation Center, we actually have another role. We are the Center for Exchange and Cooperation for Science and Technology between China and Portuguese-speaking countries. Now, Hong Kong being Macao's brother or sister region, because we are the only two special administrative regions in the Great Bay Area, I think we both have to work together in terms of promoting like GBA companies to go beyond the border, like for example, to tap into the Portuguese-speaking countries, or the other way around, like to help Portuguese-speaking countries' enterprises to soft land in our regions for their expansion into the Greater Bay Area. So in the past, we have organized various initiatives and programs like the ones that I mentioned just now, like for example, symposiums, seminars, and competitions, in order to draw together all those innovative projects and technologies. I think for us, like speaking on behalf of our center, I think we definitely can work together in terms of those programs. And also, in the past 5 years, we actually work closely with more than 10 incubators, accelerators, universities from Brazil and Portugal, as well as more than 30 accelerators and incubator bases in the Greater Bay Area. Through this kind of cooperations, we help for example, the Macau startups entrepreneurs to land in their respective cities, and also to help them to have the local partners to help them explore those respective markets. Also, we can, like, for example, it really depends on the type of organizations. Sometimes we would work together to conjure up some programs, exchange programs, tours, study tours, etc., to help those exchange of information, and also to facilitate the connection in a business context. So for our center, we work not only with universities, but also like science park, innovators, incubators, accelerators, and alike. In Hong Kong, we do actually have a few other partners, and hopefully in the foreseeable future, we want to work closely with Hong Kong Science and Technology Park, because different entities, they are specialists in different areas. Like for example, for Macau, we do have TCM, life sciences projects, as well as robotics AIs. Those might wish to take benefits of Hong Kong government's recent implementation of the schemes and policies. I think they are very favorable to us startups, not only for Macau, but also from other cities of the GBA as well. And as far as I know, because last year, just now, Dr. Ptiu mentioned, we did actually organize the delegation tour of technology enterprises from Brazil and Portugal. We invited them over, showed them around, have them participate in the Beyond Expo, and also took them to the GBA. 10 out of 10 enterprises from those countries are interested in launching soft landing in Macau, and also in doing businesses with our GBA, business community. And a few of them were actually like pondering about whether it's Hong Kong or Macau to use as a springboard. For us, I think so long as the environment and the policies of the market are appealing to them, we would be more than happy to make the connections, because ultimately, I think Hong Kong and Macau, we work together in order to try to achieve the national strategy, which is like to develop GBA as the world's biggest Bay economy.